Good day everyone. Today I'm going to discuss with you the different operators used in Java programming language. So these operators are the arithmetic operators, increment and decrement operators. We also have the relational operators, logical, and the conditional operators. And later on, I will be also sharing with you the order of precedence of the following operators that I'm going to discuss today. I will be also giving you some examples sample programs with the use of the different operators in Java programming. Okay, so may we start with the first one, or the first set of operators that we have. Okay, so we start with the arithmetic operators. So basically, arithmetic operators are very well known, especially in mathematics subject, no? And we are accustomed with the MDAS, no, as the order of precedence. MDAS stands for multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. But if we are going to consider the arithmetic operators used in programming languages, we will insert another operator, which is the mod or the modulus. Okay, so I will be discussing briefly the different arithmetic operators kasi we all know naman na yung mga apat, no, which are the addition for addition operator, for subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we will not really focus on that, but we are going to focus on the inserted one, or the additional arithmetic operator that we should use, or we will be using in Java programming language, which is the mod or the modulus. Anyways, lahat ng mga programming languages ay gumagamit ng modulus to get a particular answer, which is the remainder. So much on that. I'm going to discuss first. We have the table. We have 3 columns here. We have the column for operator. We have the column for use. And then we also have the column for the description. So I'm just going to give a brief explanation on the 4 operators for arithmetic operators. And then later on, dun sa mod natin, ay magbibigay din ako ng mga examples para mas maintindihan natin kung paano natin siya i-evaluate if we're going to use it on an expression, and how are we going to obtain a particular answer. So let's start with the addition. So it was represented with the symbol plus, but in Java programming language, we have 2 particular function for plus. So the first one is for addition. We use the plus sign for computations, and then the other one is for concatenation, wherein you're going to combine 2 particular strings. Okay, so if you're going to use it to concatenate or to join, okay, so may function po yung plus sign na ganon, but here we are going to make use of the plus sign as a symbol for addition. So here on the second column, we have the column use, wherein it shows how to use the plus sign, although all of us already know how to add, of course, no? Nasa college na po tayo. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We have the option for 1 and then the option for 2, wherein if you are going to declare a variable and you are going to include a value later on, no? So ganito po yung itsura niya. For example, si option 1, we have option 1 here. The value of option 1 is 1 and the value of option 2 is 2. And then, if we're going to add them, we are going to make use of the plus sign on our program later on. And then, we can derive an answer of 3. So, on the description, it says here, adds option 1 and option 2. Whereas, it used the word and. So, take note natin yung mga ginagamit na words later on. Okay, so moving forward, we have the dash sign for subtraction, wherein it ought to subtract option 2 from option 1. So as you can see, mas inuna niya yung 2 and it made use of the word from. So it subtracts option 2 from option 1. And then we also have the asterisk for multiplication. But if we are going to use or make use of the multiplication symbol for normal days, no? Just like in mathematics, we make use of the X, no? X symbol. But here on programming, we make use of the asterisk as a symbol for multiplication. Okay? Now, it says here that it multiplies option 1 by option 2, and it made use of the word by. Same as through with the division, which uses a symbol, the slash, no? Yung slash po natin. So, it says here in the description, divides option 1 by option 2. As you can see, the multiplication and the division use the word or the terms by. And lastly, which I will be discussing to you thoroughly, and I will be giving you example, is the mod or the modulus. Maybe you already encountered this mod, and for those who haven't encountered the symbol or for the operator mod or the modulus, do not worry, I will be explaining this to you and how to obtain or derive a particular answer. So basically, the symbol for mod is percentage, and if you're going to compare or if you're going to use it on a formula, or if you're going to create an expression, it will be represented as just like this one. And then it says on the description that it computes the remainder of dividing option 1 by option 2. So as you can see, we are going to obtain a remainder here. So ito yung answer niya. Okay, computes the remainder of dividing option 1 by option 2. So we have two processes that we are going to, or we have a process before we obtain the remainder. Now, you are going to divide first yung option 1 by option 2. But let us not be confused with the use of the division or the between the division and then the modulus, kasi minsan napapagbaliktad yan ng mga students. For the division po, you are just going to obtain or derive the answer for the quotient, no? Yung quotient po natin. Pero dito sa mod po, yung remainder niya po mismo ang kukunin natin. Okay? In order for us to understand more about the modulus, I have prepared 6 examples that has different orientation, no? Magkakaibang mga examples, and also the breakdown of the steps kung paano natin kukunin yung sagot niya or yung remainder niya, and kung paano naging ganun yung sagot natin. Okay, so I will be also using a calculator para i-compare natin kung yung answer natin ay correct or not. And then if we are going to rely on calculator or not. Okay, so one thing's for sure, and one thing that you need to consider is that modulus should not or cannot obtain an answer with decimal place. I repeat, ang modulus po natin ay hindi kumukuha ng sagot na with decimal place. Dapat po ay whole number. I repeat, ang modulus po ay whole number lang po ang kinukuha niya. So later on, if we are going to compute here on our calculator, as you can see, magre-return siya ng mga numbers na with decimal places, which is not accepted if we are going to make use of the modulus. Okay, so let's start with the first example. This is just a simple example, and there are points that you need to consider. So may I just read this one? So 7 mod 3 is equal to 1. So the remainder here that was given is 1. Ang gagawin lang po natin is to evaluate the given expression or the given example. I-evaluate lang po natin siya, and later on, if you are going to encounter, no, yung mga expression or yung mga formulas later on na walang sagot, at least alam na po natin kung paano siya i-compute or paano natin kunin yung answer niya. Okay, so may I repeat, 7 mod 3 is equal to 1. Here on the right side, I have presented or I have included 2 particular process on how to derive or how to obtain 1 as the answer. Okay, so what I did first, as you can see here on the description, as it was being reminded here on the description that it computes the remainder of dividing option 1 by option 2. So we're going to use that particular step on how to obtain the answer. Okay, so 2 here, how did I get the 2? So let's use first the calculator and let us compute, no? 7 divided by 3. So say 7 divided by 3 is equal to 2.333 something. Okay, so yung reminder ko kanina is that modulus cannot and will not accept numbers with whole number or answers with decimal numbers, I should say. Okay? So hindi pwede to. Hindi niya ina-accept tong 2.333. So dapat whole number po tayo. So because of that, we are going to consider the number that was the whole number on the answer. But I'm not urging you to use the calculator. The very reason why I use the calculator now is just for you to know kung ano yung magiging sagot niya kung merong tayong decimal place, at para i-remind kayo na hindi po nag-a-accept ang modulus ng with decimal numbers. So if that's the case, since simple lang po itong example natin na 7 mod 3, if we're going to divide 7 mod 3, okay, 7 divided by 3, of course, you will obtain an answer of 2. So, diyan ko po kinuha yung 2 po natin. And then later on, we are going to continue with the second step. You can also use your pen and paper in order for you to obtain the quotient of 7 divided by 3. Okay lang po yun. This is just a representation. Yung nilagay ko dito, this is just a representation on how the steps are being made. So, pwede yung usual lang po na ginagamit natin sa pagko-compute ng ating quotient. Same din po siya. Okay, so I obtained the answer of 2 as the quotient, and now I'm going to multiply 2 and 3. And then, saan ko na naman to nakuha? Okay, so the 3 was obtained here on the second given. So, if I'm going to multiply 2 times 3, of course, I'm going to obtain a product which is 6. And then, later on, I'm going to subtract yung first na given number doon sa nakuha kong product. So, 7 minus 6 is equal to 1. So, as you can see, yung answer natin is 1 dito, which is also the same as the answer on the given. Okay, and then, that will be now the remainder, no? Yung naiwan na number upon dividing the option 1 and then the option 2. So, we are going to put 1 as an answer, or the remainder for the given expression. Okay, so that is for example number 1. We also have here example number 2, which the process is the same as example number 1. So as you can see, what if we are going to get the remainder of 5 mod 1, and then we also have 0 here as our basis kung paano natin makukuha yung answer. Okay, again, I will just make use of the calculator, just a comparison, but I'm not urging you to always use a calculator. It is always important for us to know how to compute manually. Okay? So, let's say 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. As you can see, there is no decimal place. Okay, so automatically you are going to obtain the answer, which is 5, and of course you are going to consider the second number on the given, and then you're going to multiply it by 5, and then the answer would be 5, and then 5 here was obtained here on the first example, so 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. So yung answer na po natin is 0 kasi wala siyang remainder. Okay? So, the third example naman is also the same as the fourth example, but I will be giving you a tip on how to immediately or simply get the answer here nang hindi na po tayo nagko-compute. It's very simple. As you can see on the first two examples, mas malaki yung number for left side, no? Yung 7 at saka 5. Pero yung nasa right side, it's smaller. That's why we still need to divide it. We still need to compute for it. But here, on the third example and the fourth example, as you can see, mas maliit na yung nasa left side niya compared to the first two examples. And then, yung nasa right side na given, yung second na given natin is bigger than the left side. So, in order for you to obtain an answer immediately, this is the tip, okay? If ever na mas maliit, or if ever the left side, no, the first given is smaller than the right side, automatically you are going to get the left side as your answer. Ayan, this will be the answer. Why? Because it says here is the breakdown of how that supports the idea or the tip that was given. So, if you are going to divide 8 divided by 10, no? If you're going to consider that, let's say 8 divided by 10, the answer would be 0.8, which is, no, it cannot be, no? We cannot use the particular answer in order for us to obtain the remainder. No, because modulus also only accepts whole number. Okay, so basically cannot be. That is why automatically the remainder will be 8, or we are going to carry 8 pag sa pagko-compute ng quotient, di ba? Ang sinasabi natin, carry 8 as the remainder. Automatically, we are going to obtain 8 as the answer. Same as through dito sa fourth example natin, which is 1 mod 99, the answer is 1. So, cannot be pa rin, we cannot use the decimal place, yung may decimal place na number. That is why remainder po natin is 1. So, we are going to place the answer or the remainder 1 here. Okay, so same lang din po siya same lang po yung process for example number 3 and then example number 4. How about example number 5? So here we have 10 mod 6. The process that we will be using here is also the same with the first two process that was presented a while ago. So here we are going to divide 10 divided by 6. Of course, you can only get an answer which is 1. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply it by 6 and then 6 and then I'm going to subtract 10 divided by 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. So our remainder now is equal to 4. As simple as that. Same process as the first two examples. Now, let's proceed naman dito sa 6th example which has a big number on the left side. Okay? So, pag mentally, you can do this mentally or manually using pen and paper. And then, I will just be showing you what will be the answer if we are going to make use of the calculator. So, let's start now. 99 mod 8 is equal to 3. So, pag sinabi natin 99 divided by 8, you will be getting an answer of 12.375. The tip that I shared a while ago is that you're going to consider the left side as the whole number, no? Yan po yung kukunin nating sagot later on. But I included two ways on how to evaluate the particular expression or the particular example. Dalawa po yung pwede nating gawin para makuha yung answer niya or para ma-evaluate natin kung tama ba yung nilagay na answer or hindi. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first thing that I did is that I am going to subtract 99 to 3. Okay, saan ko nakuha ito? So, yung left side or your first example natin or your first given, and then I'm going to subtract it by 3. This is only applicable kung meron na siyang answer. Pag ini-evaluate lang po natin. Pero pag wala siyang answer, you are going to make use of the second one, which is letter B. Okay, so going back, okay, subtract natin 99 minus 3 is equal to 96. And then, the second one that I did is that I'm going to divide. 96 divided by 8 is equal to 12. Okay? So, kinuha ko pa din yung second na given dito na number. And then, lastly, I'm going to subtract 96 from 99. So, I will be obtaining an answer of 3. So, 99 minus 6 is equal to 3. So, same yung answer natin dito sa given. This is only, I repeat, this is only applicable. These steps are applicable only if you are going to evaluate a particular expression na meron na siyang sagot. Pero pag wala siyang sagot, ito po yung gagawin natin. So, for example, no, ito nga, 99 mod 8, you are going to divide first. Same process as yung mga nauna dito. Yung example number 1, example number 2, and then we also have the example number 5. Same lang po yung process niya. So, it says here that 99 divided by 8, of course, we will get an answer of 12. And then, we are going to multiply 12 times 8 is equal to 96. And then, 99 minus 96 is equal to 3. Now, returning an answer of 3. Okay? So, it's very easy to compute for the remainder or for the answer. So, if you have free time, you can also do some activities or you can also apply the following steps on how to obtain the remainder. Okay? So, that is for the example of the modulus or for the use of the mod operator from or under the arithmetic operators. So, may I just repeat, no? The answer for the first one or for addition is sum. The answer for subtraction is difference. The answer for multiplication is product. The answer for division is quotient. And the answer for mod or modulus will be remainder. Okay? Since we already knew that the different operators that was presented using the arithmetic operator, now let us use them on a program. So basically, we have a sample program and then I'm going to discuss each lines of the programs in order for us to gain a better understanding at para alam natin later on kung paano gamitin tong arithmetic operator pag nag-program na tayo using Java programming language. Okay, so here, I already copied and nag-copy-paste na po ako dito sa aking JCreator para mairan na po natin itong program. And as I've said a while ago, I am going to discuss each line. So here, I already, ayan, na-paste ko na siya dito, as you can see. And then, I'm going to discuss each line para mas maintindihan po natin siya. Okay, so let's start with this one. So it says here, a few numbers. As you can see, this is just an example of a comment. For those who are not well-equipped or don't have any idea or forget about the usage of the documentation or the comment, these comments are just documentation purposes or just labels para pag may gagamit pa na iba, at least alam nila kung para saan yung mga lines of codes na yon. If you're going to include an instruction, so for example, I'm going to include declare for numbers. Just like that sana. Okay, so you are going to make use of a comment. Okay, so we can delete this kasi wala naman siyang effect sa ating program. Kasi minsan, ito rin yung mga reasons kung bakit nagkaka-error yung mga nagpo-program. Kasi minsan, example for this one, adding numbers, matatanggal lang yung isang slash dyan, magko-consider na yan as an error. So let's try. Okay, so as you can see, meron na siyang error. And then, if you're going to return it, ayan, magi-green na siya. So, minsan nagiging cause yan ng error ng mga nagpo-program. Kaya it's better for us to remove the comment. But, comments are also equally important. Lalo na pag you're going to share your codes later on. If you're going to present your codes, at least there is a label showing the explanation or the user manual on how to use the codes or the program that was presented. Okay, so it says here we have integer I is equal to 37, integer j is equal to 42, double x is equal to 27.475. We also have double y, which is equal to 7.22. As you can see, it made use of two particular primitive data types. We have the data type int, and then we also have int here, and then the data type na double. Okay? So, ang tawag po natin dito is variable declaration, no? Wherein you are going to initialize, you are going to declare a variable, and also we are going to include a value for it. So, different parts for the variable declaration. Okay, you're going to initialize now. We have here the data type, and then we also have the variable, and then ito po yung value niya. I repeat, we have the data type for int. We also have the variable name, which is I, and then yung 37 po natin as the value, and then yung semicolon for terminator. We have 4 parts for variable declaration. Please do not forget about that. Okay, so yung integer po natin, the data type, the primitive data type integer returns an answer which is a whole number. For whole number lang po itong integer natin. Hindi po siya pwede sa decimal numbers kasi meron pong data type na intended for that. So, integer po yung gagamitin natin says, pag integer, we are going to make use of whole number. It's either positive or negative, okay lang po yun. And then dito naman po sa ating variable name, we have I. So, if you're going to name a variable, just use any letters on the alphabet, and then the combination of your names, it's okay. For example, we have num1, it's okay, no? We can make use of that one. Just do not make use of the Java keywords that is available, or the Java keywords, just like the public, just like if, int, yung mga ganun. Hindi po pwedeng gamitin yung mga Java keywords because they are already reserved words para sa ating Java. Meron na silang other tasks na ginagawa, and they are embedded on our program. So, for example, I'm going to make use of if. So, you can see, nag-change na agad yung color ng ating if kasi meron na siya dating use, and it is being used for conditional statements. Hindi na po pwede. So, you can choose anything, combination of two letters, okay, and your name, the color of the colors, no? Anything, just don't make use or do not use the Java keywords. Okay? And then we also have here the 37, as you can see, whole number, but we can also make use of negative numbers here if we're going to talk about integers. And lastly, please do not forget about the semicolon. Kasi yung semicolon, that is the terminator. Say I removed it and then I'm going to run the program. As you can see, meron tayong error. And then dito sa left side, sinasabi niya na one error. Sabi niya dito sa baba, no? And then pinipinpoint na niya kung ano yung, kung saan natin ilalagay yung, or kung saan natin isosolve yung error natin. And then you're going to click no. Ayan, balik lang natin yung semicolon. It is also equally important if you're going to declare a particular variable. Okay, same as through with the integer j, as you can see, same lang po yung value niya. And then dito naman, it made use of the double, no? Double returns an answer of a decimal place, yung may decimal place na numbers. Okay, we can make use of two data types here. We can make use of float and we can make use of double. So for example, if we're going to make use of float, pwede natin siyang gawing na float x is equal to 27.475, but do not forget na ang float ay dapat may letter F sa gilid. Okay, so pareha lang po yung magiging sagot ng double x dito at saka yung float x dito. But as I've said, please do not forget yung letter F po natin dito kasi ang float, it needs letter F kung gusto nyong gamitin yan. But I'm going to delete this one since mas convenient for me or mas convenient po na gamitin natin yung double later on if we're going to deal with decimal numbers. Okay? And then later on, ang ang variable name po natin, just a reminder, no, yung mga variable names natin, hindi pwedeng maulit-ulit. So for example, I'm going to make use of, ayan, double x ulit. Double x is equal to 34, just like that. If I'm going to run that one, magkaka-error ka pa din because nagamit na po natin yung x dito. Hindi na po pwedeng maulit-ulit. Dapat unique po yung mga pangalan ng ating mga variables. Okay, so much on that. We already declared 4 different types ng ating values. Now, let us proceed with the Java output statement that was presented here. So, it says here, system.out.println. So, yung pag-print line po yung pinag-uusapan natin, yung magiging output natin is yung magiging output natin is vertical, I should say. I'm sorry. Okay, pa-vertical po yung magiging sagot natin. And, pag ginamit po natin yung print, ay magkakasunod lang yan horizontally. So, pag sinabing print line, basically, it says next line. Okay? So, here, on the first line, as you can see, ang nilagay niya is the variable values. And then, it made use of the double quotation marks. Okay, ang double quotation marks ay ginagamit lang just to display a particular output. No other reasons, no? Hindi pwedeng mag-compute dyan, just to display. Kung ano yung nilagay mo sa loob ng double quotation marks, automatically, yun yung i-display niya. And meron tayong string na nilagay dito, which is variable values, ... Okay, on the previous na discussion about the primitive data types, ang string po ay hindi data type. So here, ang nilagay natin, or if we're going to deal with double quotation marks, lahat po ng nilalagay mo sa loob niya is considered a particular string at i-output niya lang yan. Kung anong nilagay mo sa loob, yun lang po yung i-display niya. And then, be careful sa paggamit ng double quotation marks kasi minsan, pag tinanggal mo yan, magkaka-error ka po, no? Dapat po may partner po ang ating double quotation marks. Okay, so dito naman tayo sa and also do not forget the semicolon for the Java output statement. Same dito sa ating mga variable declaration. Okay, so let's proceed to the second Java output statement. It says here system.out.println, and then meron tayong sa loob na naman ng double quotation marks, which is considered a string. I-preprint lang po or ilalabas lang po itong I is equal to, wala po siyang gagawin. As you can see, meron tayong plus sign dito. Bakit kayo meron tayong plus sign dito? As I've said earlier, yung plus sign po natin, meron siyang dalawang ginagawa. It's either to compute using addition, no? You're going to compute for the sum, or the concatenation, or to join two strings. As you can see, ginamit yung plus sign dito to concatenate or to join two particular elements. We have here the string, and of course, we have here the variable I. Going back to the the variable declaration, yung letter I po dito is merong value 37. So, automatically, meron tayong value 37 dito. So, ang mangyayari is yung magiging sagot niyan ay I is equal to 37. Kukunin nyo na po yung 37 dyan. Later on, pag nag-declare na po tayo ng I dito, or nag-declare na po tayo ng variable natin dito, at meron na siyang laman, huwag nyo na pong ilagay dito sa Java output statement natin yung value niya. Kasi automatically, i-obtain niya or kukunin niya yung value niya sa letter I dito. Okay? That's just a reminder. So, automatically yan, kukunin niya yung mga laman dito. That is the essence of variable declaration. Mas mapapadali na lang po yung pagko-compute natin or paggamit natin ng mga variable sa ating program. Okay, as you can see, same as true dito sa mga dito sa second tree ng mga Java output statements kasi it made use of the plus sign just to concatenate them. Okay? And then we have here an example, or we also have here another Java output statement na magdi-display lang ng word na adding. Ayan, and then tatlong dots. Okay? So, displaying pa lang po ang ginagawa po ng mga first 6 na Java output statements dito. Now, let's proceed to the 7th na Java output statement. Ang ginagawa naman po nito, as you can see here, we have a comment, sabi niya, adding numbers. Okay, here, it made use of the double quotation marks and then just a label kasi kailangan natin yan ng label pag nagpo-program po tayo. So, that is the use of the double quotation marks to insert a particular string. So, i-display niya lang po ay I plus J is equal to, and then, meron na naman po tayong plus sign dito for concatenation. Basta nasa labas siya, we use it for concatenation. And then, we also have open and close parenthesis here, which includes the I plus J. Okay, if you are going to build your program later on, and then if you are going to include computation, do not forget to include open and close parenthesis. Okay, para mai-qualify siya or para mai-signify siya that the program is going to compute for it. Yan, parang barrier niya lang. Okay, itong open and close parenthesis natin. As you can see, yung I plus J, i-add niya po yung value ni I, which is 37, and yung value ni J as 42. And then, dito sa single na Java output statement natin, meron tayong dalawang plus na nakalagay. So, magkaiba po yung gamit ng dalawa. The first one is for concatenation, the second one is for addition or getting the sum of I and J. Okay? So, dito naman po, and then we are going to see later on kung ano yung magiging sagot ng mga lines na yan. Okay? The next one is that, gumamit din tayo ng Java output statement just to display the word subtracting. Yan, di-display niya lang yung word na subtracting. If you would like to insert another Java output statement, pwede lang po tayong mag-copy-paste dyan. Okay lang po siyang ganun. As many as you can or as many as you like. So, ganun po siya ka-flexible, itong Java programming language natin. And then, same as through, gumamit po tayo ng mga different arithmetic operators dito. We have this, dash for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, and we also have the slash for division, and we also have the, percentage, yung kaninang in-explain ko, nakukunin niya lang yung remainder niya. So, percentage for modulus. And if we are going to run the program, ayan, okay, kaka-copy-paste, nag-process complete lang po siya. Ika-copy-paste ko lang po yung magiging sagot niya. And for us to know, ayan, nilagay ko lang po siya sa notepad. Ayan. So, here is the answer for the particular program, no? It says here, variable values. As you can see, dinisplay niya lang talaga kasi that is just a string. And then, dinisplay niya lang din kung ano yung magiging laman. As you can see, inobtain niya agad, no? Comparing dito sa program natin, if you're going to compare, ayan, as you can see, magkaiba yung kulay niya. Ito rin yung indication natin. The application that I'm using for my editor is the Creator. So, ganito po yung user interface niya, no? If the color is violet, ayan. And then, kung color naman po natin dito is you're doing it right. Kasi, this one is only intended for strings. This one is for obtaining some particular, obtaining a variable. So as you can see, no, if we're going to compare, kinuha niya na po yung value ni I, yung value ni 42, yung value ni J, value ni X, and then value ni Y. Okay, so di-display niya lang po. Okay? Now, let's proceed with the adding. Yan, di-display niya ulit yung adding na word, which is the same here, no? So, I plus J here, saan ko nakuha tong I plus J is equal to? Kinuha ko po siya dito, which is being included on the double quotation marks as string. And then, as you can see, automatically kinompute na niya po yung I at saka yung J po natin. Okay, next, we also have for subtracting. As you can see, same process as the adding, subtracting, multiplying, and then dividing. The only difference is that we made use of the different operators dito naman sa open and close parenthesis nila. Okay, so we already know about the different symbols, so let us not be confused about that. And as you can see, it returned an answer of negative. Okay. And then we also have the with decimal place dito sa multiplying, because if you are going to make use of decimal place, of course you are going to make use of double or float as your data type. And then we also have yan, I divided by J is equal to 0 kasi wala daw silang ayan, 0. And then we also have the computing the yung quotient niya is 0, and then yung pagko-compute natin ng remainder, as you can see, yung I natin is 37, and then yung J natin is 42. So, yung tip ko kanina, pag mas maliit na yung left side na number, automatically obtain mo yun as answer. So, yung ni-return niya is 37. So, that is for the sample program using the different arithmetic operators. I hope we get it. I hope we understood the particular example. Now, let's proceed to this one. So, as you can see, here is the output of the program. It is the same as the output that we obtained here on our JCreator. Okay. So, basically, let's proceed now. We have now the increment and decrement operators. It says here that aside from the basic arithmetic operators, Java also includes a unary increment operator, which is plus plus, and unary decrement operator, which is minus minus. So, increment and decrement operators increase and decrease a value stored in a number variable by 1. So, here we have an example for us to understand more about this one. So, example po dito, we have count. We have the expression count is equal to count plus 1. So, it says here on the comment, increment the value of count by 1. So, we are going to add a value for the count 1. So, yung expression natin na ganyan, so for example, no, itong value ng ating count is 2. Ayan, and then, naglagay ka ng expression na count plus 1. So, yung 2, mag-i-increment yan ng 1, magiging 3. So, yung expression daw na ito is also equivalent to count plus plus, or yung ginamit natin na increment operator, which is plus plus sign. Okay, so in order for us to understand this better, we also have a table. Yan, meron tayong for operator, for the usage, and then we also have for the description. We have let's start with the first one, which is plus plus. So here we only have one option, no? Comparing to the arithmetic operator, we made use of the option 1 and option 2. Here po meron tayong isang option lang for us to evaluate the answer Okay, so it says here on the first example, which is plus plus, increments by option 1 or the option by 1 evaluates to the value of option before it was incremented. Okay? So, mag-i-increment daw or mag-a-add po tayo ng 1 doon sa value ng ating option, and then i-evaluate niya daw yung value ng option ng ating given bago niya daw i-add yung 1. And then, dito naman sa baba, as you can see, magkaiba sila ng orientation. OP, tapos plus plus, and we also have the plus plus at saka OP. It says here, evaluates to the value of option B after it was incremented. We have two words that we need to consider, no? We have the word before and after. Ayan, before and after. Para mas maintindihan natin later on kung anong pagkakaiba ng ng yung nahuhuling plus plus doon sa nauunang plus plus, I'm going to discuss the example that was given. Okay? So we also have the minus minus, and then the option minus minus, and then we also have the minus minus up. Pareho lang din po, we made use of the before and then the after. Pero ang pagkakaiba nila is incremental po yung dalawa dito, and then decremental po yung nandito sa pangalawa. Okay? So, let's proceed. It says here that the increment and decrement operators can be placed before or after an operand. That's why we have here, no? Before and after the operand. Pwede po nasa bago yung op kasi dito, this is just the variable name. So, for example, yung name ng variable mo is A, okay lang din po ilagay natin yan. Gumamit lang tayo ng OP or ng op, kasi option. Okay. So, it says here, when used before, okay, before po yung pinag-usapan natin. Highlight ko lang para mas maintindihan natin. Ano yung before? Ito yan, O++. Ayan. When used before an operand, it causes the variable to be incremented or decremented by 1. And then the new value is used in the expression in which it appears. So we have here an example para mas maintindihan po natin. So for example, meron tayong tatlong integer na dineclare. We have integer I, J, and K here. The value of I is equal to 10, and the value of J is equal to 3, and the value of K is equal to 0. Now we have here the expression K is equal to plus J plus I. Ayan. So, ang evaluate po natin dito is the plus J. Ayan, meron tayong increment here. And then, i-evaluate natin. Is it after or before? Going back here, it says here that it is after. Ayan, after. Now, it says that on the comment, it will result to, ayan, if you're going to evaluate it, yan, i-enter ko lang ito para mas maintindihan po natin at makuha natin yung sagot niya. Okay, it will result to K. Okay, so, yung K natin is, siya po yung magiging parang container ng ating expression. Ayan, K is equal to, and then, as you can see, ano ba yung value ng J natin? So, yung value ng J natin is 3. Ayan, value ng J natin is 3, and then yung value ng I natin is 10. Okay, please do not forget about that. If we're going to evaluate this one, as you can see dito sa baba, bakit kaya naging 4 na siya agad? Going back on the explanation, dito sa after natin, evaluates or increments op by 1, evaluates to the value of op after it was incremented. Okay, so automatically, as you can see, no, pag ginamit pala natin yung plus dito sa unahan, okay, bago pa yung natin, variable name natin, as you can see, example plus J, pag ganyan pala yung orientation ng ating increment operator, automatically, mag-a-add ka ng 1 if you're going to evaluate it. Thus, returning the answer of 4. Kasi 3 po yung value ng ating J kanina. Okay, so, yung natin, mangyayari dito sa evaluation natin, 4 plus 10 is equal to 14. So, magre-return siya ng answer na 14. Now, let's use naman yung plus na mahuli. Okay, yung before. Ayan, going back here, we have the before. Ayan, before yung term natin. Before na lang yung term natin. Yan. Okay, ganito yung orientation niya. So, paano naman siya? Kung dito sa first example natin ay automatically i-consider niya na yung 1 as increment value. Dito naman sa pangalawa, sabi niya, when the increment and decrement operators are placed after, ayan, after the operand. Yung operand natin ay yung variable name. Okay, after the operand, the old value of the variable will be used in the expression where it appears. So, for example, we have here, para mas maintindihan natin, we have integer I, integer J, integer K, same naman ng value dito sa first example natin na ginamit natin doon sa before, or dito sa plus. Okay, plus J. Ngayon, ang i-evaluate natin is yung J++. So, paano kaya na naman ito? Okay, yung value po ng ating yung K na naman yung holder natin or yung parang sum natin. Okay? So, as you can see, yung value ng J natin dito is 3. And then, as you can see, no, 3 pa din po yung kinuha niya. Dito sa taas, hindi po. Automatically, nag-increment siya ng 1, which is 4. Yun na po yung essence ng ating second example. Pag ginamit po ito. Okay? Hindi siya mag-i-increment agad. Kasi sabi niya, the old value of the variable will be used in the expression. Unlike po dito sa example natin dito na sinabi niya na, the new value, okay? New value is used in the expression. So, ulitin lang po natin, pag ganito po yung itsura niya, mas mauuna yung plus plus. Ang term natin dyan ay before an operand at new value yung kukunin niya. Pero pag nahuli yung plus plus natin ay kukunin natin yung after, or after yung pagiging description natin, and then yung old value ang kukunin natin or yung original value. Yun po yung pagkakaiba nila. Same din doon sa minus minus na nahuli at minus minus na nauuna. Okay? So, para mas maintindihan natin, nagamit din po ito for a particular program. So, as you can see, we have here an example. Copy-paste ko lang po siya sa ating JCreator para mas makita natin kung paano siya gamitin sa isang program. Okay, copy-paste ko lang po. Okay, here we have another comment. I will just remove the comment para hindi po tayo ma-confuse. And then, I also have here 4 declared variables as it was just like the example on the arithmetic operator. Okay, we have integer I, same lang din yung value na ginamit dito. Okay, if I'm going to ayan, pag niran po natin yan, so as you can see, same lang din po. Okay, so i-copy-paste lang po natin itong output, and then I will just paste it on a notepad. Palakihin ko lang po para mas visible ang ating answer. Okay, so ito yung nagiging answer natin. If we are going to evaluate the example here, we have 4 particular Java output statements. At yung mga nakalagay sa loob ng double quotation marks, I repeat, are just strings. I-display lang po yan. And then we made use of plus sign for concatenation. And as you can see on the right side, we have here we made use of the increment and decrement. Ayan. As you can see, we have the I++. Yung ni-return niya na answer is 37. Yung ni-return niya naman dito is also 37. Yung ni-return niya po dito sa I minus J is 41. And then yung ni-return niya dito sa X++ is equal to 27.475. As you can see here, let's start with the first example, yung I++. I++, yung value kasi ng I natin is 37. Okay, yung value ng ating I repeat, is 37. Doon sa answer ng ating program, ang ni-return niya is 37 pa din. How is that? Bakit kaya ganon? Going back here on our explanation a while ago, it made use of the plus na after. Ayan. Yung mahuhuli. After ng operand natin. Okay, yung I++, ang sabi niya, the old value of the variable will be used. Kaya naman pala. Okay, mas mauuna, or pag ganito po yung orientation natin, no? Pag mas mauuna po yung variable kesa yung increment niya, symbol, kukunin niya lang yung original or yung old na value niya. Okay, compare din natin dito sa minus I. Ulitin natin ha, ang value ni I is 37. Okay? So, yung 37 natin, bakit kaya ang sagot pa din natin is 37? Going back here, okay, so going back here, no, it says on the answer, I will just show it. Ayan. It says on the answer that the answer is still 37. Since we are going to make use of the plus, if we are going to use again the value of I, Ayan, hindi kasi siya automatically or hindi niya automatically i-display yung ating sagot pag gumamit po tayo ng ganitong symbol or way ng paggamit ng ating symbol, di ba? Use the old value, but later on, it will be incremented if we are going to make use again of the variable. So, plus po yung ginamit natin. Of course, mag-a-add yan ng 1. The new value of I will be 38, but it will not be displayed here on our output. So, yung ipapakita niya lang po ay yung first, yung original na number natin. But, automatically, it will be incremented with 1 or by 1 if we are going to make use it again. That is why, nung nag-minus I po tayo, ang nireturn niya ay 37 kasi nag-add tayo ng 1 or in-add nung program ng 1 yung ating value, yung 38. So, basically, nag-minus I po tayo, magma-minus 1 yan, magre-return yan ng 37 as an answer. Ang ano lang po, ang pagkakaiba lang po para hindi po tayo ma-confuse. Itong paggamit ng before and after the operand po natin. Ito, no? Ayan, bago po yung operand kasi dito, as you can see, automatically, i-display niya na agad yung ating additional na 1. Pero dito sa baba, dito sa isa, no, yung example, itong J++, hindi niya po ipapakita agad. Pero pag ginamit po ulit natin yung J, automatically magiging 4 po yung value ng ating J. Yun po yung pagkakaiba niya. Huwag po tayo ma-confuse doon. That is why, ang nireturn ng ating I po dito is the 37. Now, dalawang beses po kasi natin ginamit yung I po dito. Okay? So, here, we also have the minus J. As you can see, it is also the same with the example here. Ayan, na plus J, na automatically ipapakita niya yung result. Since gumamit tayo ng minus, of course, it is to decrement 1. Okay? Yung value ng ating J is 42, kaya magre-return siya ng value na 41, mag-minus siya ng 1. And then lastly, we also have the x++. Ang value na ni-return niya is 27.475, but if we are going to make use it again, magi-increment yan ng 1. That is why it will return an answer of 28.475 later on. Pero dinisplay niya lang muna yung old or yung original. Okay, so that is for the second example or the first example for the incremental and decrement or increment and decrement na operator po natin. Okay? Now, let's proceed. I hope you understood. I hope you get it. So, here is the output for that particular operator. Okay, now let's proceed now to the relational operators. Okay? I hope nakakasunod po tayo. So, relational operators compare two values and determine the relationship between those values. So, we are going to highlight this one relationship po tayo. The output of evaluation are the Boolean values true or false. We all know that Boolean values returns an answer of true or false, thus making use of the different operators that are available on Java programming language. We can make use of relational operators, conditional operators, or we can also make use of the logical operators, which I will be discussing later on. So here we have the relational operators, and we also have table just to visualize no kung ano yung magiging itsura ng mga operators na to if it's going to be used on two particular na variables. And it has also a description para mas alam natin or maintindihan po natin kung paano siya gamitin. Okay, we have the greater than or equal to. We also have the less than or equal to, and then we also have equal to, and then not equal to. If you're going to make use the different operators or relational operators, it will be just like this. So option 1 is greater than option 2, option 1 is greater than or equal to option 2, and then we also have option 1 is less than option 2, option 1 is less than or equal to option 2, option 1 is equal to or are equal to option 2, and we also have option 1 is not equal to option 2. We also have the description here for us to understand more. So it says here option 1 is greater than, as I've read it already here on the second column. Okay, so in order for us to understand more about the usage of these particular operators or relational operators, let us have an example or let us have a sample program na gumagamit po ng ating relational operator. Do not worry, I'm going to explain or I'm going to discuss the lines of codes. Okay, I'm going to copy paste it again on our JCreator para ma-run po natin at ma-derive po natin yung sagot niya. Ayan, Control V. I'm going to run. Ayan, so I'm just going to copy paste the answer. Ayan, para ma-evaluate natin later on. Ayan, copy paste ko lang po and then, ayan. Ayan, so here is the answer now, but I'm going to explain first the content of our program. So as you can see, it made use of 3 variables again. We have the variables I, J, and K, and then the values are integer values or whole number. We have 37, 42, and then 42 again for K. So I, J, K, 3 integer variables or integer data type, and then we also have the whole number as the value. Now we also have here Java output statement that only displays the word variable, values, and 3 particular dots. I-display niya lang po. And then the second line of codes is that i-display niya yung word na I is equal to and then yung value ng I which is 37. Same as through with the third na Java output statement, J is equal to, and then yung J po natin dito, the value is 42, i-display niya lang din po. Same as through with the K na i-display niya yung word or yung number na 42. For displaying purposes lang po yung apat na to. Hindi po siya nag-compute or hindi siya compare or hindi siya nag-display ng mga Boolean values which is true or false. Now, here, it says here dito sa ating comment na greater than. As you can see, this is just a comment now. There will be no effect on our program. So here on our Java output statement here, meron tayong string na nakalagay na K is greater than J is equal to. And then it made use also of the concatenation na plus symbol. And then meron tayong open and close parenthesis to separate them later on for the answer. And then it made use of the greater than as a symbol. So as you can see here on the right side, sinabi niya na kung ano yung magiging sagot natin. If we are going to evaluate, no, what is the value of K ba? Ano ba yung value ng ating K? Ang value ng ating K is 42. And then yung value ng ating J is also 42. So since ang value nila ay parehong 42, I'm just going to write it here or type it here. If we are going to evaluate, is 42 greater than 42? So automatically, you will obtain an answer of false. That is why yung nilagay dito na answer dito sa ating comment is false. So false po yung magiging answer niya. As you can see, this is a Boolean answer. Dito naman sa baba, the value of K is 42 again, and then we made use of greater than or equal to. The value of J is 42. What will be the answer? Is 42 greater than or equal to 42? Okay, the answer is true. Ma'am, how is that? Bakit po naging true yung answer niya? This is, dito sa ating description, dito sa greater than or equal to, it made use of or. Ayan. Ayan. So, this is optional. Hindi siya mandatory. Pag na-encounter nyo po yung word na or, for example, we have 2, no? Itong option 1 at saka option 2. Pag nag-true siya dito at nag-false siya dito sa pangalawa, pag gumamit tayo ng or, true pa din po yung sagot niya. Vice versa. Pag nag-false siya dito sa option 1, or at saka nag-true siya sa option 2, at gumamit ka ng or, automatically, true pa din po yung answer niya. Mas malalaman po ninyo yung about dito sa or natin doon sa logical operator. So, yun po yung indication natin, ha? Pag gumamit tayo ng greater than or equal to, at saka yung less than or equal to, or po yung gagamitin dyan. So, as long as nasatisfy niya yung isang condition or yung isang operator, automatically true po yung answer niya. Saan po ba siya nasatisfy? Dito sa plus or dito sa equal. Kasi po, 42 is equal to 42. Kaya magiging true pa din. Regardless na ngayon yung isa. Which is greater than. If we're going to compare dito sa taas, no, iisa lang kasi yung ginamit niya, which is greater than. So, 42 is greater than. 42 is, of course, is false. And 42 is greater than or equal to 42 is true kasi nasatisfy niya yung equal to na operator natin dito. And then we also have here, no, gumamit siya ng equal to. Ayan, dalawang equal sign. So, okay, another, 42 is equal to 42. Of course, it will return an answer of true. And then, as you can see, 42, if you're going to read this one, the last na Java output statement, K is not equal to J, which is false. Kasi, 42 is equal to 42. So, sinabi niya hindi daw equal yung 42 at saka 42. Kaya ang sinagot natin is false. Dapat po, kasi yung 42 po ay same as the 42. Now, so that is how are we going to use the operators, relational operators on our program. So, ganun lang po siya kadali. I hope you understood po itong relational operators natin. Okay, so it returns an answer of this one. So, same pa din yung answer natin. And then, we also have the logical operators. I hope nakakasunod pa rin po tayo. The logical operators have one or two Boolean operands that yield a Boolean result. So, Boolean na naman po yung ginagamit natin dito. It will return of a true or false na answer. Okay, so we have three. We have here the first one, the logical operator. We have the logical operator AND. And it was being represented with the ampersand as the symbol. So here is the truth table. We should always, no, if we're going to make use of the logical operator, ito na po yung sinasabi ko kanina dito sa ating relational operator na greater than or equal to at saka less than or equal to kasi it made use of or. Mamaya makikita natin yung point kung bakit po i-consider pa rin natin siyang true kahit naging false na yung isang operator niya. Pag dito sa end, meron tayong truth table. Ang tawag po natin dito is truth table. We have two values that we are going to evaluate. Values 1 and values 2. And then later on, yung result natin. So, yung logical end po natin, sabi niya, the first one, if the first value of x is true, and the second value of x is true, then the answer is true. But if the first value is true, second value is false, the answer is false. If the answer is, the first value is false and the second value is true, then the answer is false. And if both of them are false, the answer of course is false. Para mas mapadali natin siyang i-evaluate later on, kung magko-consider tayo ng ganito, no, yung truth table natin, para mas mapadali po natin makuha yung sagot niya. If ever po, yung dalawang kino-compare natin na value, ay nag-return siya ng answer na false, automatically false po ang magiging sagot niya, lalo at gumagamit tayo ng and. Kasi pag sinabi natin yung and na word, it is mandatory. Dapat dalawa sila. Okay? So, for example, no, green and blue. Meaning, dapat dalawa sila. Green and blue, dapat dalawa po sila. Hindi po pwedeng isa lang. Okay, so here, as you can see, nag-false na yung isa, automatically false. As you can see, the result is true, false, false, false. Yun po yung shortcut niya. Basta false po yung isa na example or yung isang value, automatically false po siya. So here is the sample code that uses logical and Boolean. Okay, so i-copy-paste lang po ulit natin itong lines of codes dito. Ayan, copy-paste lang po natin. And I'm going to put it here on our JCreator. Ayan. Okay, and then I'm going to copy-paste also the answer on our notepad. Here. So here, as you can see, we have an answer of 0, 10, at saka false. So here we are going to declare two particular integers. We have integer I, which has an answer or a value of 0, integer j, which has a value of 10, and then yung boolean, which has a value of test, or the variable test, which has a value of false, I should say. So as you can see here, demonstrate and. Yan, gumamit tayo ng dalawang ampersand as the symbol. So it made use of the tests as our container. Saan po nakuha itong test? Ito po yung dineclare nating Boolean. So, yung value ng ating Boolean is false. I repeat, the value of our test is false. Now, it made use of the test as our container, and then we also have two expressions that will be used in order for us to obtain the answer of n. Yan. Unahin po natin yung first na expression, which is being enclosed by open and closed parentheses. Ano po ba yung value ni I? Ang value ni I po natin is 0. If we are going to evaluate it, the value of I is equal to 0. And then, yung magkacomparean po natin is greater than 10. As you can see, nag-join first po yung logical operator natin at yung relational operator natin kasi gumamit tayo ng greater than. That is a relational operator, right? Okay? So, I is equal to 0. And then, i-compare daw. So, magiging is 0 greater than 10. Is 0 greater than 10? That is the first expression that we are going to evaluate. As you can see, 0 is not greater than 10. It is lesser. Okay? Or less than. So, ang magiging sagot natin is false. Now, let's proceed to the second expression. Yung first expression natin, or yung second expression natin, gumamit na naman po siya ng J++. Ayan, J++. As you can see doon sa example natin kanina, pag gumamit tayo ng J++, ano yung mangyayari? It will make use of the old. It make use of the old value of the operand. Yung value ng ating operand is 10. Okay? So, yung operand natin is J. That is why J is equal to 10. Para hindi tayo ma-confuse yung J++, let's just go back doon sa increment and decrement natin, doon sa example natin kanina. As you can see, dito sa ating sa baba, ayan, yung J++ na ginamit natin kanina, no, automatically kukunin niya yung old value or yung original value. Huwag po tayong ma-confuse doon. Okay, so I'm just going to return to the end. Okay, and then, so, yung value ng ating J is 10. Since 10++ siya, okay, kukunin niya yung old value niya pa rin, which is 10. Okay, and then, gagamit na naman tayo ng greater than as a value. Or a operator, I should say. Sorry. And then, i-compare siya doon sa number na 9. So, ang mangyayari ngayon ay is 10 greater than 9. Ayan. Is 10 greater than 9. Yan na po yung ating i-evaluate. So, of course, 10 is greater than 9. So, magre-return tayo ng answer na true. Okay, now, ano na ngayon ang magiging value ni test? Ang kukunin na value ni test ngayon is that it will contain na test. I-type ko lang siya. Magiging false. Ayan, kasi itong ano natin, yung in-evaluate natin na answer dito is false. And then if we will make use of and then the second expression, yung nasa loob ng open and close parentheses, ang naging answer niya is true. True. So, yan na ngayon yung evaluate ng ating test or yung i-contain na answer na test. Going back po dito sa ating truth table, as you can see, yung answer natin is false and true. Ayan, false and true. So, yung answer natin ay nandito sa pangatlong row. False and true will return an answer of false. If we are going to check the answer here, tama siya. False po yung sagot natin. Okay, I'm just going to remove this one para mas maganda po siya tignan. And then remove also the one that I typed. And then, for the first two, yung first two na Java output statement natin, dinisplay niya lang po kung ano yung value ng I at saka J. Ngayon, sa pangatlo po ay dinisplay niya ngayon yung magiging value ni tests. Okay, so automatically, yung value po ng test natin is false. Ayan, kasi nung kaninang in-evaluate natin, no, yung nandito sa third na option natin, false and true is equal to false. Okay, so that is for the end. Ayan, end na logical operator. Now, we will proceed with the OR. Okay, paano naman po itong OR? Kabaliktaran po siya ng ating end. Dito sa ating for, ito po yung kanyang symbol, or dito ito po yung kanyang symbol, no? Dalawang lines. As you can see, we also have a table that will also give us the truth table para ma-evaluate natin yung answer if we're going to make use of the logical OR. Ayan, we have if true or true is true, true or false is true, false or true is true, and then false or false is false. If we are going to compare the answer here on end, lahat na may false, automatically false yung answer niya. Dito naman sa OR, lahat ng may true, true yung answer niya. Except lang ito kasi dalawa yung false niya. So magkabaliktad sila. That is the shortcut way on how to evaluate a logical OR. Basta may true na siya, automatically true na rin yung sagot natin. Okay, so let us test or let us use the OR. Okay, here on our program. Copy paste lang po natin. Ayan, same lang din po yung kanyang given. Ang nagkaiba lang po dito ay yung kanyang operator, which is the OR. So kanina, ang value natin, ang answer natin is false. Ngayon, ang ni-return niya na answer natin is true. Bakit kaya? Ayan, so same pa rin dun sa first two na Java output statement. So as you can see, let's evaluate, no? It made use of the variable test na naman. So yung open and close parenthesis po natin dito sa first expression natin, the value of I is equal to 0. And then, gumamit siya ng less than na relational operator. Okay, and then 10. So, evaluate natin, no? Is 0 less than 10? Of course, it will return an answer of true. Then, ilagay natin yung OR na value dyan, or OR na symbol. And then, the other one, J++. So, yung ginamit, or yung kukunin nating value is 10 again. And then, greater than, and then 9. So, is 10 greater than 9? Of course, the answer is true. Okay? Is 0 less than 10 true, or 10 is 10 greater than 9, mag-answer siya ng true. So automatically yung sagot natin pag i-evaluate natin ito, yung test, yung value ni test na nilagay natin dito, magiging yan, evaluate natin, no? True or true, of course will return an answer of true. Thus yung nalagay na value dito is true. So, ganun lang po kadali ang pag-evaluate ng ating OR. Okay? And we also have the NOT. Ayan, NOT. The logical NOT takes in one argument, wherein that argument can be an expression, variable, or constant. Here is the truth table. Of course, meron tayong true. And if not true, of course, it will return a false answer. If not false, of course, it will return a true answer. So, yung gamit po natin dito is the exclamation point as our symbol for not. Para mas maintindihan po natin, no? For example, ayan, for example, A is equal to true. Ayan, and then if we made use of not A is equal to, of course, is false. Hindi siya true, kaya magre-return siya ng answer na false. Another example, if B is equal to false, and then magagamit ka ng not a B, of course, magre-return niya ng answer na true. Pwede rin natin siyang gamitin ng dalawang beses, not B. Yung first na not natin dito, no, not B is equal to true. Not true, kukunin natin yung word na true. Not true, of course, is false. So, magre-return siya doon sa value na false. So, ganun lang po siya kadali. So, not true is false, not false is true. So, yan po yung ating logical NOT. Okay? So, those are the logical operators that we can use in our program later on. So, we have the logical AND, we also have the logical OR, we also have the logical NOT, and then now let's proceed to the conditional operator, which symbolizes the question mark at yung colon. Ayan. Yan po yung tawag nating conditional operator. So it says here that the conditional operator and then is a ternary operator. Ano yung ibig sabihin nito na ternary operator? So it says here that this means that it takes in 3 arguments. We have 3 arguments. I'm just going to highlight that one. that together form a conditional expression. Ayan. So, the structure of an expression using a conditional operator is, ganito po yung structure niya. We have first expression, the second expression, and then meron tayong third expression. Para saan yung mga expression na yan? So, here are the things that we need to consider sa different of expressions na yan. So, we're in expression 1. Yung expression 1 daw po natin is a Boolean expression. Ayan. Whose result must either be true or false. Ito naman pong expression 1. Sabi niya, if expression 1 is true, ayan, expression 2 is the value returned. Ayan po yung magiging sagot niya. Pag nag-true daw yung expression 1 natin, ang i-return niya na value ay yung nakalagay sa expression 2. Pero pag nag-false po yung expression 1 natin, yung expression 3 yung i-return niya na value. Okay? Pag nag-false siya. Para mas maintindihan po natin, let us consider again this example, no? Sample na program po natin. Okay, I'm going to copy-paste it here on our JCreator. Ayan. Okay, I just fixed the particular example because the example that was included here, it has an error and is not correct. Okay, I fixed it. So here we have declared two particular values. We have the let us first declare the string status, which is a value of, here as you can see, this is how you are going to declare a string, no? If you would not like to include a value. So here, if we made use of the integer or a whole number, pag gusto mo na walang value yung integer natin, pwede tayong maglagay ng 0 as a value. But here, we are going to make use of the string, no? String na data type. That is why ang nilalagay lang natin is double quotation mark without a content. Kasi that indicates that wala pa siyang value or malalagyan lang siya ng value. Or magko-contain siya ng particular value. And then we also have the second na declared variable, which is integer grade, which has a value of 80 na nagre-return lang po ng ating whole number 80. Okay, so here we have a comment. It says here that get status of the student. So here on this status, no, we made use of this status which was being declared here at the top. So status here is equal to, we have here an expression that we need to evaluate, and then as you can see, it made use of a relational operator. So yung nasa loob po ng ating open and close parentheses, we have the grade. Ayan, we have the variable grade. Ang value po ng ating variable grade is 80, and then yan, for example, we have the grade which is equal to 80, and then gumamit tayo ng ating relational operator na greater than or equal to. Ayan, we have the greater than or equal to, and then we also have another value which is 80. So the 60, I should say, the 60 here is not being declared. So if you would like to declare it, for example, we have integer b is equal to 60, and then ginamit mo yung b dito, it's okay po. Okay? It's okay kasi dineclare mo naman yung value niya. Okay? So, let's just go back. Ayan. Let's just go back. Let's just remove the integer b para mas maintindihan po natin or makuha po natin itong example natin dito sa ating program. And then, meron tayong question mark. Ayan. Meron tayong question mark na symbol which pertains to the conditional operator. So let's go back to the conditional operator here. Yung kanyang symbol is question mark and then also the colon. Okay? So here, it made use of the question mark. And as you can see, we have the two strings na pass at saka failed. So yung pass at saka failed po, yan po yung expression 2 at yung expression 3. So sabi natin kanina, pag yung first na expression natin, ito yung expression 1 natin, yung nasa loob ng open and close parentheses, na sineseparate lang ng ating question mark. So it says here na kung ang first expression daw natin ay magiging true yung answer or yung sagot natin, ang kukunin niya or yung i-output niya ay yung na first one, which is past. Kung ang first expression naman po natin ay nag-return ng false na answer, ang ipiprint niya po na value is the failed. Ayan. So, true for true, yung una, or yung second expression. For false, itong third expression po natin. So, here, let us evaluate, no? Yung grade po natin is 80, greater than or equal to yung naging, natin, operator natin. And we also have the 60. So, let's evaluate. Is 80 greater than or equal to 60? As you can see, nag-true siya dito sa greater than kasi 80 is greater than 60. Pero nag-false na siya dito sa may equal. But, gumagamit tayo ng or pag ito yung ginamit nating operator na, or relational operator, di ba? Pag or, di ba, yung sa logical operator natin, as long as merong true doon sa dalawang kino-compare mo, automatically true ang magiging sagot. Since true po yung naging sagot natin, ang ipiprint niya po ay itong una na option or yung second expression natin, which is pass. Okay? So gawin natin siyang false. So for example, ang nilagay natin dito is equal to. So is 80 equal to 60? Of course, magiging false yung magiging sagot niya. So ngayon, i-disregard niya yung pass, ang kukunin niya or i-obtain na niya ngayon na sagot is yung failed. Okay, so let's run it. Ayan. So, automatically, failed po yung magiging sagot po natin. Basically, dito po sa first and second na option natin or yung expression 2 at saka expression 3, tayo na po yung maglalagay dyan because that is just for a remarks. That is just a string. So, for example, nilagay mo ay okay. And then, nilagay mo dito ay not okay. At niran mo yan. Magre-return yan ng no okay pala yung nilagay ko. Magre-return yan ng no okay. So, ulitin ko lang po lahat ng nilalagay natin dito sa expression 2 at saka expression 3. Tayo na po ang bahala dyan kung ano yung remarks or kung ano yung ibibigay sa inyo ng mga specifications or yung mga requirements na kailangan ninyong na-meet. Okay? And then dito sa last na output statement natin ay ipiprint lang po natin yung status na variable natin, which is na-evaluate na po natin dito sa taas. So, no okay po yung ni-return niya na sagot. I'm just going to copy-paste this one, no? Ika-copy-paste ko lang po itong example natin just to palitan lang po natin itong example dito because this example is not correct. Ayan. So, ganyan po yung magiging sagot. And then, we just have to click pass. Ayan. Or change pass. And, let's say, failed. And then, we just have to return it to the original. Is grade greater than or equal to 60. Okay? So, that is how we correct the given example. Now, I hope we understood po yung gamit po ng ating conditional operator. So, make sure na yung nilalagay po natin is according to the requirement. For example, our teachers requires us to evaluate a number, whether it is pass or failed, no? Big or small, just like that. Something like that. Okay? So, now, let's proceed to the order of precedence. Ito na po yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? If we're talking about order of precedence, ito po yung pagkakasunod-sunod nila if you're going to evaluate a particular expression. Pag nag-involve na po tayo ng computation, ito na po yung pagkakasunod-sunod nila. So, operator precedence defines the compiler's order of evaluation. So, ito rin po yung ginagamit ng ating compiler, ng ating Java programming language, kung paano yung pag-evaluate niya ng kanyang mga given or yung mga operators natin. I repeat, itong order operator precedence natin or order of precedence natin, ito po yung pagkakasunod-sunod nung pag-evaluate ng ating Java program, kung ano yung unahin niya na i-evaluate, kung ano to yung isosolve niya muna, ganun po. Okay, so compiler's order of evaluation of operators so as to come up with an unambiguous result. So, the following is the list of Java operators from highest to lowest precedence. So, as you can see, we have here from highest precedence to lowest precedence, or yung highest priority to lowest priority. So, the first priority, the highest priority of all, is the open and close parentheses. So, as you can see kanina dito sa ating mga examples, it made use of the open and close parentheses just to signify na kung ano yung uunahin mo sa lahat. As you can see here, on our example here, ito yung inuna natin to evaluate. And then, sumunod po itong second na, natin, no? Open and close parenthesis na, bago tayo nag-evaluate ng ating sagot sa ating OR na operator. Okay, so let's just go back to the order of precedence. So, ganito po yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya. We made use of the highest priority is open and close parentheses. And then we also have the second priority. Itong second priority po dito, these are yung magkakasama po sila, no? But if you are going to evaluate them sa isang expression, pag magkakasama po silang tatlo, i-evaluate natin yan from left to right. Okay, so unahin natin tong plus plus, and then we also have the minus minus, and then we also have the not. Yung third priority natin, we have the multiplication, division, at saka modulus. Fourth, we have the plus and minus, and then the fifth, we have the greater than, or the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We also have the equal to and not equal to for 6th place, and then 7, we have the and, at saka yung or pwede rin natin siyang isulat na ganito. Double lang siya, no? Ayan, and at saka or, and then we also have the operator na XOR, and then we also have the and then we also have the or, and then we also have the equal sign. Okay, and then the highest precedent is on top row and the lowest is on the bottom. Okay, yung bottom po yung pinaka ito po yung pinaka lowest priority natin, yung equal. Okay, so please check it out later on. Here are the order of precedence from highest to lowest. So, unahin po ng Java program ay ito. Evaluate nyo yung nasa loob ng open and close parentheses. And then, susunod po yung mga may plus plus, minus minus po yung mga increment and decrement na mga operators natin. Okay, so for example, we have an expression. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kung meron tayong mga computations later on. Ganito po yung pag-evaluate dyan. So, given a complicated expression, we have here as an example, no? 6 mod 2 times 5 plus 4 divided by 2 plus 88 minus 10. Okay, so in order for us to have a clearer na operator for our precedence, we can write the expression and place some parentheses based on operator precedence. So ano ba yung uunahin niya dito? As you can see, we have here, no? Naglagay siya ng open and close parentheses for this one, for this first part, and then we also have the second part, and then wala na pong open and close parentheses dito. Kasi po, sabi natin, uunahin natin yung open and close parentheses. So, naglagay siya ng open and close parentheses dito sa part na to because this will be the first priority na kukunin po, na gagawin po natin. And then, as you can see, meron po tayong mode at saka yung times, no? Yung asterisk for multiplication. And as you can see here, meron silang pare-parehong place dito sa ating order of precedence. And then, ganito daw dapat kung paano mo i-place yung mga parentheses. Ayan, kinuha niya po separately yung 6 mod 2. And then, sa labas, naglagay tayo ng times 5. So, ito po yun. Ito po yung tatlo. And then, sa gitna, naglagay siya ng plus. And then, meron po tayong open and close parenthesis for 4 divided by 2. And then, we also have plus 88 and minus 10. Okay, so that is how you're going to rewrite the expression and place some parentheses based on operator precedence. But later on, I will be showing you, or the next topics that I will be discussing may include the computations using the different operators that I have discussed already. And then we are going to compute it and evaluate it step by step. So please check it out later on. Okay? So let us just have a recap or a summary of the things that I discussed. We have the arithmetic operators, no, which we have the MDMAS, and then we also have the relational or the increment and decrement operators. We have the before and after increment and decrement operators. We also have the What else do we have? We have the relational operators. We have the greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. And then we also have here the logical operators, and we also have the logical operator or, and we also have the logical operator not. And then we also have the conditional operator, which is being symbolized by question mark and colon. And lastly, we also have the operator precedence, or yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga operators na i-evaluate ng ating compiler or ating JCreator or yung Jedona or kahit anong editor ng ating Java. Okay, so I hope you have learn something valuable today about Java programming language, and of course about the different operators that we can use in Java programming language. So if you have any questions, if you have any queries, or if you have anything that is not clear or are blurry to you, do not hesitate to ask me, and I will try my best to answer them and to respond to those questions. Thank you so much for watching. Good day and God bless.